Hello all, today we have Mr. S.A. Singh, Director of Offices IAS Academy. As we all know, Sir has cleared civil services exams twice. In 2001, he got into IRTS and in 2004, he got into IAS. For the last 10 years, Sir has been teaching and mentoring civil service aspirants, and particularly he is guiding thousands of students in how to choose a right optional subject. So in this video, Sir is going to give an exclusive guidance for freshers on how to choose the right optional. Hello, sir.
Hi, Guna.
So before you explaining about how one should choose optional subject, can you please brief us on what is this optional subject all about?
Optional subject is, in civil service mains examination, the written part, till the year 2012, we used to have two optional subjects. From 2013, one optional subject. So, the very name itself, we have to opt. Whereas general studies, essay, all have to write. Whereas optional is based on, you can choose it on your own, based on your own degree or your interest. One particular subject, degree or even honors level, that particular subject, A, B, C, so many options are there. So, one has to choose. So, that particular optional subject has a weightage of 500 marks in the mains examination written part. Totally 1750 marks. In that 500 marks. So, two papers will be there. First paper 250 marks, another paper 250 marks. So, 500 marks out of 1750 is the role of optional in civil service mains examination.
Okay. So, that means for optional subject, we have 500 marks. For all the mains and optional put together, it is 1750 marks. So when you look at the numbers, so optional is going to have only 500 marks in 1750. That gives me the impression that more than optional, the other general studies and the SC appears to be more important. So can I take this strategy that I can put more efforts on the GS part and even with the relatively lesser effort of options, is it possible to manage and get higher scores?
No, it doesn't work that way. In fact, if you see the marks of those who get into service all these years, general studies, the variation amongst the candidate who get into service is very less. It varies between, 4 general studies paper, it varies between 380 and 420 on an average. Whereas optional, some people score 210 also, 160 also, 320 also. So, optional, I will always say optional is crucial. It doesn't mean you should not concentrate in general studies. Generals, every mark matters. The same mark, 20, 30 people will be getting different ranks. So, all these things happen. So, general studies is also important. However, optional is very, very important. The variation, because of the variation. So, it plays a very crucial role.
In that case, can I choose an optional by looking into the scoreability? So, the scoreability, I am arriving it by looking into the toppers score. So, by analyzing the last few years toppers, the top 10 ranks, which optional they have chosen, how much marks they have scored. So, will that be a right kind of strategy? Because I understand, though it is only 500 marks, where the scoreability, we can score high marks in optional when compared to other GS. So, in that case, is it okay to go with the trend, mark trend, and shall I choose the option?
Nahi beta, it cannot work that way. 10 ranks if you are choosing, some A optional, B optional, C optional is there. So you're going, no, totally 1000 to 1200 people are getting into service. Moreover, that particular optional which has worked for that particular topper may not work for you. So, optional is like a marriage, okay? A particular person doesn't mean will work for this person, so same will, no, it's your own choice, your liking, your interest. You are going to live with that optional, maybe one attempt, if you are good, or 2 attempts, 3 attempts, you cannot change later, because a lot of work you have put in. So, better choose the optional after working out, lot of thought process should go, not based on, because some people have scored in top 10 ranks, this particular optional is there. No, that is not the right way.
Okay. So, in that case,
and I'll always suggest, better you choose the option which is you like, and next year you put your optional in top 10 ranks. That is a better strategy, I always say.
Nice, sir. So in that case, shall I go with the popular teacher which I find? See, for example, I see students getting guided by looking at the most popular brand, popular teacher in choosing the optional subject. Or I also see students, they go to bookstores, book houses, and they come across a lot of materials pertaining to one particular special subject. So maybe by students are getting guided through the variety of surplus of materials in one particular optional subject, or they are guided by looking at the popularity of a particular teacher. So can we choose based on these two aspects?
No, again, no. See, optional teacher. See, the teacher is popular in teaching a particular optional. Very good. In case if your optional, the optional you choose because of your own liking, your interest, your analysis, if that matches with the teacher, then no problem. You can join. However, don't go because that particular teacher teaches well, all are joining, so I'll also join. No, it won't work that way. Again, material also, yes, definitely, availability of materials is very, very important criteria. However, today you see, for most of the optionals, whatever optional you are saying, except for some languages, you see there are totally 48 optional subjects. In that, 25 are say A, B, C, D optional, and the last 23 I think are language, which is also Tamil language, Telugu, literature subject, Malayalam, Telugu, Hindi, like that. So, except for one or two, material availability is not an issue today. So, don't go by just material is available, nothing like that. You should choose in a different way.
So, let's say a situation. So students stay in hostel where they come across a lot of seniors, right? They have given many attempts, and since they have some amount of experience in this field, is it okay to get some guidance from them? So the veterans would have experience. I can know whether the subject is easy or difficult through their experience. So can I get such guidance?
See, in fact, most of the students choose the way you told. Some because of some seniors. Maybe in hostels or in study halls, somewhere people get guided, whether it is the right way. Now, because they are experienced, yes, I am also experienced. I have an experience of 10 years in this Officers IAS Academy itself, and I also prepared also. But I always tell to my students, better don't get guided by me. I will have a bias. Okay, I will have a bias towards some few optionals. No. Never ever choose an optional because of some senior is telling. I want to reiterate that word. It is you are marrying a particular optional. So have a wise choice. Later you cannot part away with that marriage. It's not that easy. Of course, we can always divorce an optional and go for another optional. But a big toll. Yes. Typical marriage toll will happen here also because the entire thing you have to start again, prepare again. So I'll suggest don't go by seniors' advice, this, that, and all. Choose based on your own criteria.
So apart from my personal liking and interest, let's assume I come from a particular educational background. So is it fine that I chose an optional based on my educational background? Is it okay?
Means you have completed a degree.
I have completed a degree in a particular subject A. So I see a subject which is entirely A or something relevant with A. So can I go with the optional?
Yeah, I'll say yes, provided you like that particular subject. Okay. See, many students, when they prepare for their degree, they don't like. For namesake, they study. Okay, just before the day of the 2 days before the exam, friends come together, study a particular subject, and in that way, if you have prepared and got a degree, still, I'll always say, if you have a liking for that degree, yes, no problem, go ahead. Because at least for 3 years, 3-year degree subjects, 3 years, something has gone in your mind. However, some criteria I will tell. Say, example, you have studied one subject, say mechanical engineering, right? From a private engineering college, you're cleared, okay? But I will say better be cautious. Just because you have studied degree 4 years, I have put in, but you are maybe IITians will be choosing mechanical engineering, electrical engineering. So be cautious. Just like that also, because you have completed a degree, you should not choose. But I am from, you say, sir, I have done my medical science from AIMS, Madras Medical College. Go ahead. Then that is medical science. Go ahead, because you have studied. You are from. But sir, I studied dental. So I have seen some students. Sir, I wanted to become a doctor. I didn't get. So now I want to prepare medical science. I did biotechnology. Friends, this is not, it won't work that way. Medical science is a specialized optional, 5.5 years. Similarly, law. Okay. Law, this 5.5 years degree, before you choose, be very careful. Law at all, you should have done law degree. Again, just because you have done law from a particular college, you should not choose unless otherwise you have interest. Second important thing is, whether your papers are going to match with others, National Law School papers. Remember that.
Now I get a thought, sir. It might be a little wide, but I get this thought. So during my school days, I have scored really well in maths and science. Usually, I used to get center in maths, also in science, because there's nothing subjective in that. Whatever I objectively write, I get the marks. Will this logic apply in the civil services optional subject? I mean, the mains optional subject, because I get a feeling that if I choose mathematics as my optional, then out of 5 questions I'm expected to solve, even if I solve 3, and if I get full marks, then I'll be getting 60%. That means I'll be getting higher score. Then it is easy for me to clear the exam.
Well, that is the case. All will choose max. Okay, all will choose max. Some two questions. It doesn't work that way. There also there is a moderation. Okay, so say for a typical sum, A optional, B optional, C optional, like whatever optional subjects, where you have to write, say the best score they are giving for each question out of 10, if it is 6, right? You are giving the best answer. So out of 10 marks, they may give 6 marks for that particular question, for that particular answer. The same way, if you worked out a mathematical problem with all steps properly, then you won't get 10 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Okay, so that way only. So don't go by again, max means I'll put 3 sums only out of 5, or out of 10 sums, 6 sums. No, it won't work that way.
Now, let's assume that I have a serious liking towards a subject. I have gone through the syllabus, I have gone through the, some orientations about the subject, but I am not from that particular educational background. But you have mentioned, sir, that I'm not from medical background, but it is not wise to choose medical option. I'm not from a particular law background, it is not wise to choose law. That I am able to understand. But I am from a particular educational background, which is different from what I want to choose. Right? Some A or B. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Say, for example, broadly, I am from a science background. I have done some science degree. I am interested in studying a particular social science. I have the natural liking. So can I choose?
Yes, definitely you can choose, provided you have the liking and also you have worked on it. Most important thing is that particular degree is not a 5-year degree. Okay. Say law, medical science. So these and all, even if you have a liking, don't do that. And some specialized optionals, say economics. Now, economics optional, unless you have done economics, don't choose, because a lot of theory part is there. It's a very specialized one. So some specialized optionals are there. Always be careful before, just because you have a liking doesn't mean just because I like constitution, I cannot choose law, thinking that law is a big ocean. So unless you have done a degree on that, don't choose. Otherwise, most of the optionals you are seeing today, that can be chosen without you having a degree on that particular subject.
So if I still have some confusion, I'm not able to point out to a particular optional, is it okay to go and discuss with one optional faculty and get the guidance?
A particular optional teacher,
I'm confused, I'm not able to choose, I'm not able to bring it down to one optional, I'm having confusion. But now I have an access to one particular optional teacher. Is it okay to get the guidance?
Whether to choose that particular optional?
Yes.
Again,
any guidance in general also, sir?
Again, I'll always say nahi beta. Because see, it's very, if I am teaching a particular optional, you are coming to me and say, sir, whether I can choose this optional, what will I say? I'll always say, this is the best optional because I'll get a revenue out of it, boss. So I will say, don't rely on me. Rely on, because you are going to marry that particular optional. Don't, but once you make your mind that once you have done that homework, chosen the optional, then go and surrender to your optional teacher. No doubt on that. They'll be your guru, they'll take care of you. However, don't go and ask a particular optional teacher, sir, this optional teacher, this particular optional, I'm thinking of choosing. Have I taken a right decision? Will I say wrong decision? I'll say best decision you have taken. So don't do that way.
Okay. So now I have a final $1,000,000 question. Tell me how I should choose one optional subject.
See, optional subject, the best way I'll always say is, first, based on your interest. Okay, your decision should not be, that particular interest should not be based on seniors' advice, teachers' advice, teachers like me, not on my advice. Don't have that. You yourself would have had a, not because of some popular teacher is teaching, because of that. No, leave all that. You as an individual, you have traveled 21, 22 years minimum to appear for this exam. So all these days, you have a liking, but some 2-3 subjects at least, you will say, this optional, I like this, some 2-3 optionals. First, do have a short listing of those 2 to 3 optionals based on your own liking, right? How I will like, no, each individual will have a particular liking. Second, then once you shortlist 2 to 3, then see the syllabus. UPSC syllabus clearly laid out. See each and every word. It's not necessary you will understand all those words, but whether you have a comfort there. Okay, because anyhow you are going to study that optional. It will take 6 to 7 months to prepare an optional. Plus, again, before means you have to write a lot. Okay, answer writing practice is also required. Now, once you shortlist, you see the previous year's the syllabus and previous year questions, and whether you have a comfort. You won't know all those things. You are going to study later. Once you choose, you will start preparing. But always remember this, you should go through the syllabus, go through the previous year questions. After that, maybe from 3 optional, you have shortlisted it to 2, let us assume, or still all 3 are comfortable. Then the next step, this is the most important step. You should go to your nearest government library. Everywhere government libraries are there. Basically, what I want to suggest is, you have chosen, say, particular A, B, C, 3 optionals. You have chosen, that is based on your interest. All these 3 optionals, you are also comfortable in terms of syllabus and previous 5 years questions. Then, the most important thing is, that particular A subject, there will be a book, Introduction to A. Introduction to this particular subject. Introduction. Every subject will have one introduction book. Go to a library. First chapter you start reading. That introduction. Introduction is that particular book's name. Any optional will have an introduction to A, introduction to B, introduction to C. Now, first chapter read. Then automatically, if you feel like reading second chapter, then maybe your liking is more there. No, first chapter itself, it's so vague for you. Then remove that. Now you have to do the same exercise for B. C. Are you understanding? So, wherever you feel like reading second chapter also, third chapter also, all on your own. Then a particular subject you have chosen. Once you choose, after that, no looking back. Okay, it's a marriage. There ends the matter. I'll tell one example. Okay, what I told you, generally one should not choose their own degree, especially engineering, if you are not from a very good engineering college. I was from a private engineering college, self-finance engineering college, and I had arrear also. Despite that, I chose mechanical engineering. Maybe it was a wrong decision, but I was so adamant that I have to, because changing an optional, it will take a lot of time. So I cleared, in fact, first when I got All India 294 rank and got Indian Railway Traffic Service, one of my optional was mechanical engineering. Now, mechanical engineering, in fact, pulled me down. My score was less, but I was competing with IITians. But just because of hard work, I'm telling you hard work, I could score a decent mark, then got All India 294 rank. However, later, when I got All India 59th rank and got IAS, I went for another optional, dropping mechanical engineering. But my suggestion is, once you choose, after all this, stick on to it. Don't change it. Try to improve that marks. After due diligence, doing everything properly, once you choose it, stick on to it. Don't keep on changing optionals. You're married to that optional. Good or bad, live with it and be happy with it. That is the logic. Okay, so try to improve scores on the same instead of changing another option.
So I have one more doubt, sir. So is it
so for $1 million, now $1 billion question?
It could be $1 billion question, sir. See, I see many social science-based optional subject has some kind of overlap in the general studies, both in prelims as well as mains. So can that be a reason? Can that be a logical, rational decision for choosing an optional subject?
So that your time for preparing general study comes down.
Because this optional has overlap with general study, so at one time effort I can maximize the benefit.
True. Most of the popular optionals have an overlap with the general study. Most of the optional, except say engineering and some subjects. I will suggest don't worry and don't think too much because it is having an overlap, I'll choose. No boss, that is not a right decision. Anyhow, general studies when compared to optional preparation is totally different. You're going to prepare in a totally different way. So, anyhow you're going to study, say, history, geography, economics, say, economics I'm studying, so I'll choose economy optional. Don't. That overlap doesn't happen that way. Optional preparation is totally different. General studies preparation is totally different. So, don't have a wrong misconception that because I am preparing a particular optional, my time for general studies preparation will come down. No. Choose the optional, as I told you, based on your interest. It's totally different. Optional is totally a different ball game, and general studies is totally different. And general studies is much easier to prepare. So anyway, you're going to prepare. Okay, so don't choose it because of having that overlap in mind. That's a very wrong way of.
That cannot be the logic.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, final question, sir. Is it possible to write the optional subjects in regional languages?
Yeah, very much possible. Many are doing that. So nothing wrong in it. You mean to say whatever optionals you can
write in
Tamil, Telugu, Kannada in your medium. Yes, you can do. Only thing is some translation and all you have to do. So many are doing that. Definitely one can do that way.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us a complete clarity on how one should choose an optional subject. I am very sure fresher will definitely find this most useful video in his or her civil service preparation. So thank you so much.
I hope whatever you said was correct. It was most useful. But however, I tried to bring as far as possible without any personal bias. So only we didn't even name a particular optional. We always took the word A, B, C and all. So hope it was useful for you. And if some person whom you know is preparing for civil service exam is in the stage of choosing an optional, please share it with that person. As I told you, optional is like a marriage. Before doing that, proper thought process should go. So please share it with them also. I hope it was useful for you. And thank you, Guna, for putting so many questions and trying to bring whatever I can share with the audience. Thank you so much.